If I was to tell you that there was a spot on the Season 3 map that gives you 7 chests, you probably wouldn't believe me. However, it's true, guys. This boat, guys, can give you a total of 7 crates, with one being a loot crate and the other one being a henchman crate and the other 5 being chests. Let's get into this and show you guys exactly how to find it, when to go there, the tips, how to combat on it, and also which are the best chests to look. Simply just look around while you're in the bus, look for kind of like a brown type structure on the outer skirts of the map, and as soon as you find it, you can jump for it. Now, I just want to discuss quickly before we actually get into some gameplay on the boat and showing you guys a tour of it, of all the chests. Should you dive to the boat or not straight after the bus? It's debatable. I personally think that you should wait for the boat to be like right in the corner of the map, maybe halfway across the jump, where the bus isn't even going over the boat, because then less players are going there. Because right now, quite a few players will be going here, and after this video, even more players will be going here. So I'd recommend only diving to it when you've got kind of a long distance jump towards it, as you can see in this footage here. Now guys, let's jump into a little bit of a crazy tour of this crazy loot boat. So you can see we've got one item which spawns on the ground here. You can also get a second one which just spawns to my left, which isn't there now. Then you've got 4 slurp barrels. Then you've got the freezer where you can get any fish in the game from, which is really, really awesome. This ammo crate section over here, another item which can spawn on the floor, some fishing rods. You can actually get up to 3 ammo crates here, or even a bigger one as well, which can be handy, which can drop minis, which is pretty awesome. Then we've got the desk here, which you can jump over or break. This is when you start to get the really good loot. You've got the first chest, then you've got a bunch of food loot as well. So that's the first one, but don't go anywhere just yet. You've got more fishing rods, you've got the supply crate, which is the second chest. You've got more slurp barrels up there, 3. Then you've got the third chest there, a weapon upgrade system there, which is just insane. Then we've got the boat as well out to the left, which is going to be used for rotation and obviously for escaping this location. So far we've got 3 chests in this lower section, a boat, a weapon upgrade, and ammo boxes, and plenty of slurp barrels. So let's head up the stairs and show you what else we've got in here. So you can see over here more slurp barrels. Then if we jump over this kind of crate section, we've got more slurp barrels, the 4th chest, the 5th chest right there, then the 6th chest here, which is a henchman chest, which is just insane. And then on the back of the boat over here, there is our 7th chest, and then a bunch of more food barrels right here. So much loot on this boat. It's just incredible on how many items you can get here. You're almost guaranteed a legendary or epic weapon every single time if you open up that henchman chest, which is just insane. So make sure you are going for them. And then obviously you've got the loot crate as well, which you can get so much from. It's just insane. Like, this is just probably the best and most overpowered spot on the map right now in the entire of Fortnite. Look at all the loot I'm getting. There's already one legendary item. You can see that right there. And if we head upstairs, let's see what we can get from the chest. Obviously the henchman chest is probably the keyest one here to open up, and again, a bunch of great loot from there. Some more chests here, so just insane stuff you're getting from here. Now generally solos, squads, you probably wouldn't land here on squads, but solo duo, pretty good spot, I guess. Mainly solo though. Easter egg time, guys. Does anyone actually feel this ship is a reference to Beedle's ship from Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker? I actually do, because his ship used to just appear randomly when you were sailing the ocean, and also the shape's quite similar, isn't it? It has a very similar shape and very similar design. The way the front of the boat is kind of open, kind of similar to this. So maybe Epic referenced it. Let me know in the comments if you agree. Next, we've got some combat situation tips. So when you're searching for the boat, obviously you search around. You can see I'm doing it here. I've identified it's there by retail, and I dive in towards the boat. Now I'm going to show you guys the best spot possibly to land on here, because you want to be able to grab that chest instantly to get a item. I'll show you guys that as I dive in, but as I'm doing here, what I'm kind of looking for is using that bar by the minimap. I don't know if many people actually use this, but there's a bar over by the minimap which tells you how far away you are from the glider auto being deployed, where you can no longer dive, and you can kind of use that to get a really good dive in onto the boat. I think it's kind of a useful tip. Not many people really talk about it. You may know it, you may not, but I kind of only recently noticed it. So yeah, maybe consider using that as well to kind of get the perfect dive in. And then when you're landing on the boat, obviously you want to go and land on the upper deck, and there's actually a chest on top of a table, which you can see, which I'm going for here. And that table is going to give you an item really quick. You won't get any XP from it, but you'll be able to break it with your pickaxe and instantly get a weapon or item if you need to. Obviously there sometimes are ones on the ground, but if there's none on the ground, that chest is going to be the best spot for you. Now also there are a few tires on here, and you can also get a few weird glitches where you kind of get stuck on the back of like this section here when you're trying to fall off. So be careful with that because you don't want to get stuck on it. But the tires are here as well to kind of maneuver from up and down, and they're also able to get on top of the upper part of the roof as well. So use the tires to your advantage when eliminating people who land here as well. Jump into a combat situation and show you guys exactly what can happen. So I'm going to pop in over to this one over by Steamy Stack. So again, the boat's in a different location, so it changes every time. And I'm diving in, and you can see so far we don't see any other gliders coming in or hear any, but I get really annoyed with this one. You guys will be able to hear my reaction. You'll like this one actually, it's pretty interesting. So I land in and go for that chest that I've been talking about, because obviously that is probably the best one to get here because there's clearly no weapons on the floor. So I break the chest and get the free burst, which I'm pretty happy about. So I drop down, get stuck on that, so be careful you don't get stuck on it. Get a few shots off at that guy, he's basically one shot. Go around this corner, I shoot at this guy, he actually dodges all my shots, and then yeah, he gets me with a awesome headshot. So listen to my reaction to this one. Oh my goodness. Yep, that's exactly how I felt when I just completely got poked with that sniper rifle. Absolutely insane stuff. Obviously my reaction sounded really deep because I was really far away from the microphone, but I just can't believe that even happened to me in that situation. Anyway, we're going to leave them combat situations because they just ain't working for me, and this time I'm actually going to go and show you guys some interesting stuff on how many mats you can get from the boat. So if you go and focus the boat for materials, I think this is kind of a key thing for us players to do in general. Don't forget guys, if you aren't subscribed, make sure you do smash that subscribe button. Roughly 80% of you guys that watch the content aren't subscribed already. Here I'm using a whirlpool to get over to the boat. I don't even know why I decided to do this. I just think it's probably the slowest way of doing it, but I decided to try it and obviously see if I could get there before anyone else, but no one else seems to be going anyway. So I've made a quite nice dive in, to be honest, over towards the boat. And as I arrive at the boat, this time I'm going to skip a little bit and just show you guys exactly how many mats I'm going to get from this. So let's start off by mining the entire boat, and here we go. So let's just start breaking every single structure on this boat right from here. So I'm going to make sure all the chests are open. They are. Perfect. And then obviously let's just mine everything starting from the top. So this is going to tell us roughly how many materials we can get from here, and I generally do think this will be a really good spot for competitors to land at in comp, because you know it moves every time. If you know your rotations off by heart, this is going to allow you to come across different players every game, because I know in the pro scene, in the competitive scene, you usually get put against the same sort of people because you all land in the same spots, but landing here could give you a rotation across the map anywhere. Now, like I was saying before, I was going to discuss a little bit about the mythic weapons compared to this drop. Now, you're almost guaranteed a rare or legendary item from the henchman chest and the supply drop, which is in this boat, but generally speaking, would you sooner take the mythic weapons? Now, in my personal preference, I would, because I prefer the movement from the grappler, and I also prefer the movement from the grenade launcher. They give you really good movement, being able to move or rotation, should I say, away from players for me, because if I get in a situation where I'm trapped between two players, I'm probably going to get absolutely wrecked. So that's when I need my grappler or my grenade launcher that fires the impulses to get out the way of these players. Now, obviously, you could use a launch pad, but you're not always guaranteed that here. So personally, I'm probably not going to be landing at the boat very often, but if you're quite an aggressive player or you play in comp, this could actually be a really good spot, especially if you can get a hang of actually landing here first before anyone else and getting the really good rotations using obviously the tires and then getting all the mats from here. You don't get a ton of mats, but you can get roughly, so far we're on a decent amount, so you've got enough to upgrade a weapon from here almost, and you've got enough to do some different things. There's a few different mats I'm missing as well because I'm a little bit of a noob doing this. I was actually eating some crisps while taking down this structure, but you can see I'm kind of missing out on a few things. There's a few things upstairs I could go and mine as well, but you could probably get a decent amount of materials, definitely enough to upgrade one of your weapons if you wanted to on the upgrade station. This isn't a good spot for squads, and it isn't a very good spot for duos, but definitely in solo I would highly recommend coming into here, because you're definitely going to get a decent amount of stuff which is going to help you in the future of your Battle Royale game. Now, in this game that I actually played, I didn't end up winning, but I'll show a little bit of gameplay of it as we go through it in a minute. But you can see here I'm mining the tires, I'm mining a lot of stuff, and we're on a decent amount. Like, we really are. We were almost at 1,000 mats between all of them, maybe just over. So about 350 wood, about 150 50 stone and 500-ish metal. This is obviously going to increase with these next few here, but that soon is going to really help me out in a lot of fighting situations, especially that metal, because box fights and metals are really useful. Here you can see I was just holding the trigger down while chomping a few crisps. That shout out to the Watsits there, by the way, guys. That's what I was eating when I was actually getting this gameplay, so I'm just swinging the air. But when I rotate out of here, you can see obviously I'm going to use the raft or boat, whatever you want to call it, to rotate out of here and then get out of here towards the map. So let's switch over to some gameplay of me rotating using some of the equipment which I got from here. Now we're going to jump in the boat and head to land, obviously, because the storm has us a little bit chomped here, but we're alright because we've got a decent amount of health and we're probably going to lose a few, but we'll be able to recover it on some sort of campfire or something as we begin to rotate in. So I'm going to show you just the highlights of this game rather than letting it play all the way through, because the video could add up to like 18-20 minutes if I do that. It was a pretty good game, to be honest, until you'll see what happens, but it's an interesting one and it definitely is worth the watch. So I'm rotating in a little bit and I'm deciding to get up these hills and stuff. If anyone wants to actually help me get better at Fortnite, let me know in the comments, because I really want to learn to start building again a little bit better, because I kind of got away from the building. It got a little bit too competitive for me. But here you can see I get a nice little combat there. There's me and the shark double team that guy, so shout out to the shark right there. You really did give me a little bit of a hand. Then I'm just shielding up simply. I don't even build a box, I don't know why. It's only at public matches, so it doesn't really bother me too much. I can see a guy over there. This is a lovely snipe, to be honest. Really nicely lined up, straight to the head. Nice little snipe right there, which really comes in handy in this game. And then now I've got a decent amount of weapons. I've got a rocket launcher. This must be from the marauders that drop in, the scavenger people, which is really awesome to get them weapons. They're definitely worth actually heading towards if you do see them. Make sure you've got a ranged weapon on you if you do encounter them, because in close range you can kind of get beat by them. Not always, but sometimes. It depends what weapon you've got. I've tried taking them with just a standard tack and I get absolutely wrecked. So make sure you're using like an assault rifle or something, mainly just stand back, and you usually can take them out nice and easily. So now I'm kind of rotating in a little bit, and you can see I'm trying to use this launch pad, and I don't know why, but I built a structure above my head and I'm like, why have I done that? So I destroy that and then I rotate out really quickly using that. And then obviously I've got the zip lines which I can use to get over if I need to, and the storm is closing on me. I've taken quite a bit of damage from the storm. For some reason I try and hit that guy in the helicopter and it just doesn't go anywhere. Helicopter isn't moving fast enough, so I'm kind of getting out of here using my rocket, obviously heading up to the hill, trying to position myself maybe to come across an enemy, maybe able to get some more snipes off if possible on a few of the opponents over this hill. So I'm rotating up. You can see that guy in the helicopter's completely legged it. He's completely gone out of my tracker, nowhere to be seen at all. And as I head up the hill a little bit further, I'm looking out for people. I don't see too many people anywhere, and I'm kind of thinking there'll be someone around here somewhere. So as I rotate over the hill, then I spot someone on the other side of the river, and I think to myself, oh, this is an easy snipe. Get a nice little hit off there, but unfortunately it doesn't get the limb. Does a decent amount of damage, and then I just decide to fire in a few rockets, because I know the rocket should get the rebound behind him if he doesn't block it with his builds, and he doesn't. So I get a nice little rebound. It still works that in Season 3 Chapter 2. I would just never expect people not to build a full box, but I guess it is public games, so that's probably why that still works. If I went on comp, I'm pretty sure people will build a full box as soon as I fired that first rocket. Now let's get into the end game when I get absolutely wrecked right here. So this is something that happens to me in all of these comp public, or these normal public games, should I say, standard game, not the comp game mode. Then this always happens. I always get double teamed from somewhere and I'm completely not exactly overbuild. I'm just trying to keep the guy back, and then obviously I'm getting in a good position, ready to try and line the rocket up, trying to get a box in here so I can use maybe get a little bit of time away from this guy, and then he just decides to break through my structure. So I decide to spray him with an SMG, and I'm getting shot from all different angles, and then I get eliminated. There's actually another guy across the way. Always seems to happen. I come against some absolute sweats at the end. I think it's because I've got about 400 wins. But thank you so much for watching today's video. If you did find it helpful at any point, smash a like, and I hope you guys do enjoy the new secret loot spot. It's a great spot, so go and check it out. I absolutely love it. And if you've made it right to the end of the video, comment down below the end, and that will show if you guys are a true supporter of the channel. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in future content.